Welcome back, everyone, to the Benelux Speedrunner Gathering Online 6. My name is Hud601. I am still your host for this upcoming run. And just to let you know, we are raising money for Mind, which is a nationwide organisation committed to prevent mental health issues and to support everyone who is dealing with mental issues themselves or within their family. And all of your donations will go to Mind. We'd also like to remind you that aside from BSG events and their own marathons, ESA hosts many other events across Europe, including the British UKSG, Hackathon, and more. So be sure to drop a follow to see whenever something is live. Without further ado, let's get the next run underway. We have Aeshmah, who's running Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. Take it away.
Oh. Hello there everyone, I'm Aeshmah. I'm going to be showing off the Iki Island New Game Plus category for you today. Just some quick information about the run itself. This Iki Island expansion released in August, I want to say, of this year, so it's a relatively new category, and it basically expands the main game like an expansion pack, so we will go to a new island of the game, never before seen in a speedrun. And we will just do all the main quests that we can do there, which will take about, roughly 50 minutes or so, maybe 55. Let's see how we go on that estimate. And there will be some new enemies and stuff over there. I will get more into that when we're actually there. But for now, let's just go ahead and talk to this guy. And he will ferry us over to Iki Island. So the run will officially start once I confirm my choice that I will actually go over there. So you can go ahead, get ready on the timer, because as soon as I press yes, it will start. So let's get this run going in 3, 2, 1, go.
Make for the northwestern shore.
And immediately after starting the timer, we will watch this 40-second unskippable cutscene setting off, the run itself, so to speak, a little bit of an introduction, because, our main character is on a boat, he's there with his trusty horse, and of course there's a storm coming, totally wrecking shit. I probably shouldn't say that word on a marathon stream. Anyway. So, the stakes have been raised. Our horse is in danger. It fell off the boat. And for everybody who has played, the main game of Ghost of Tsushima, they're probably already sweating a little bit because, spoilers, your horse actually dies at one point in the run. And everybody, who knows this and plays this part is immediately freaked out because the horse is yet in danger again. And, Jin is just calling out for his horse. He's called Nobu this time around. And, we gotta find our horse. Like, we need that. He's our buddy. He should carry us around the island. So, let's make sure that we will find that first and foremost. First main quest of the island, get your horse back. Because we are just that kind dude. Now in this part of the game you can't actually run, the game prohibits your movement, and that is why we just roll around the whole place, just to go by a little bit faster here. And we will be introduced to a new technique that we can use on Iki Island. We can use our grappling hook to basically break columns like these by just pulling them down. And this is our official introduction to Iki Island. I mean, look at that. It's beautiful. I mean, Also, I can't do anything while the title card is on screen here, so I gotta wait before I can actually jump down this beam. No time lost there. Yet. And, as I just said, we don't have our horse, so we actually have to, on foot run across the shore. And the one thing we want to be on the lookout for is animals. Because, as you may know from the main game, it is random if you run into enemy patrols and basically any enemies while you are traversing the map. So you could run into boars or bears on your way over to the boat. That is somewhere on the shore. And I do not want to get any of those two encounters, because they will keep me in the encounter, which means I won't be able to access the next story trigger while I am in combat. But it looks like we are fine, so we won't lose any time here. Good. Another thing that you may know from the main game is there's actually an invisible stamina bar. which makes it so that Jin can actually run out of stamina when he is running somewhere. You will see that every time his head starts dropping down. But what you can simply do then and there is to do a little sidestep by pressing the dodge button, and that will instantly regain all of Jin's stamina for whatever reason. So you can just keep on running and you do not have to slow down or stop or anything like that. This is the story trick I was talking about. If I was in combat, I would not be able to examine these horse tracks. So glad we got that out of the way immediately. Alright, so at least we know our horse is still alive, and we are supposed to follow these horse tracks to wherever it went, but luckily we can just totally ignore that and just run up this hill. Because, you know, we've played this before. This is New Game Plus, this isn't a fresh save file, obviously. So I will just make my way over to these rocks you can see in the distance. And that is where we will reunite with our trusty steed. So you can already hear some Mongols doing stuff over there. And hey, it's Nobu!
Nobu, he needs me.
Yeah, seems like our horse learned a new trick or two. But first of all, let's take care of these Mongols. And of course, Jin casually stops on top of that Mongol, or on top of that bomb rather. Always nice to see. And there is our horse. He's alive! Thankfully. And this is the part that a lot of people, I guess, really like, because not only do we get our horse back, but he actually has learned a new technique, which is the horse charge. And it is a very useful technique. Because what we can do now is, as long as we have resolve, which are these yellowish golden orbs in the lower left corner here, we can now tell our horse to go charged. And not only will we go faster, but we will also deal tremendous amounts of damage to any Mongols called in our way. So it really is a 2-for-1. And obviously we want to use that if we can. So let's just charge into all of these guys. And that was actually pretty good. We didn't even have to come down with our horse and fight any of these guys because we just killed them all with the horse charge. That was very nicely angled. Now the thing you gotta remember is we are still wearing the ghost armor, and that is actually the first main quest of the Iki Island expansion already done. But yeah, I am wearing the ghost armor, and what the ghost armor does, like every armor has different perks in this game, different passive bonuses. And the main draw of the ghost armor is its perk that it has a chance to terrify an enemy whenever you kill another enemy. And what that means in gameplay terms is that whenever time I kill an enemy, another enemy has a chance to instantly drop his weapon and flee the battle. And he will immediately count as a defeated enemy. So basically, every time I kill one, I basically, you know, quote unquote, have a chance to kill another enemy without even touching them. And that can drastically cut down on the enemies you actually have to fight in any given encounter. Okay, to continue with the story, we actually have to go and die. But first of all, I want to get this quick travel point. And then I just hope that somebody comes along and hits me. Thank you. And I've actually gone ahead and equipped the Charm of Frailty on the Broken Samurai armor. And that makes it so that you not only die instantly in a hit, but you also can't use your Iron Will ability with which you could revive yourself. You know, a little bit like Sekiro, honestly. And now that we've died, the story actually progresses, because what you're supposed to do is the game expects you to go up to Fort Sakai and try to invade it, and it's heavily guarded. You'll probably get immediately overwhelmed, and then you get captured in a cutscene, as it were. And that allows the game to progress. However, you don't have to actually attack Fort Sakai to trigger the cutscene. It's totally fine to basically die anywhere in the island, I want to say. So we just go ahead, grab the nearest fast travel point that we need for later, and then die just then and there. And that makes it so that we can progress the story. So we got captured by the main band of the Iki Island expansion, the Eagle. She is the leader of the aptly named Eagle tribe of the Mongols here. And she basically, you know, imbibed Jin with a bit of a poison mix, which makes him hallucinate and stuff. And now we are together with Yuna again. And we want to go ahead and try to escape, well, Captain Fort Sakai here.
Was your father killed at this fort?
No, We were ambushed in the canyons.
So you were there with him?
So basically, story-wise, the Iki Island expansion heavily deals with some of Jin's past, you know, his relationship to his father, what happened in his youth, before his father got killed, because his father actually got killed here on Iki Island. And, you know, with the poison that he has been imbibed with, he's gonna start having some flashbacks here and there, as we will see in the next cutscene, because we will actually play as young Jin. While we, you know, go down a little guild trip here. So yeah, this is all a little bit freaky.
Can you hear me, Father?
You know, Jin having a little bit of a quote-unquote recollection of his relationship with his father and what happened and stuff like that. But in gameplay terms, again, it's just a linear corridor that we have to run down here. There's absolutely no danger of dying or failing or anything. It's basically, you know, something like a playable cutscene, I want to say. But it is, you know, pretty aesthetically pleasing, I want to say. They did a good job with the derangedness of the place, I want to say. But if you have anything to blurb or donations to read or anything of the kind, I guess that would be a perfect idea, because I'm busy doing nothing instead of pressing forward.
No problem at all, Aeshmah. Thank you very much. We have had a €50 donation come in from Eminem. It says, thank you to everyone involved in this event. You all do great work. Well, thank you for your very generous donation. That one's been put towards the Discworld incentive for Give a Bone to Gaspo the Wonder Dog, which means that incentive is now met. I'm sure Mendez is going to be thrilled. And while we're on the subject of incentives, when do we need to let you know about the incentive for this run? Be a serious, funny samurai.
Yeah, that will actually come up in 2 quests, I want to say.
Yeah, that one, at the moment that one's currently at €5, and we need 75 in order to meet that one. So if you want to see that one get met, get your donations in soon. Back to you.
A little bit of a hiccup there. I wanted to skip the cutscene another way, but I just pressed the wrong button there, which looked really dumb. But yeah, we escaped our nightmares, we escaped Fort Sakai, and we got rescued by this raider of Iki Island, Tenzo. And he told us to meet him somewhere on the island. So let's go ahead and do that as soon as I gain control of Jin again. It takes a while for him to get up and actually give us control again here. So we will immediately call our horse, and we will not follow Tenzo immediately. Instead, what we'll do is we will right over here, and it's very important that you cross this bridge while this vision is going on, while the eagle is talking to you. Otherwise, you will get another vision on the bridge, and that one takes forever to get through. So, you know, it's quite lenient because the eagle talks to you quite a bunch during this part, but yeah, just remember that you have to cross that bridge while this is going on. Otherwise, you will lose about 2 minutes or so. I want to go ahead and grab this fast travel point, and then we'll actually go back to the one where we died earlier, where I had the broken samurai armor on, because that is actually the closest point that we could reach to the next main quest, where we'll go back and meet Tenzo. Another interesting thing is in the Iki Island expansion, these new enemies that you face, you know, from the Eagle tribe, they are actually the guys clad in purplish armor. They actually have new fighting styles, and they have a lot of health, so you really gotta watch out for these. They're basically the most elite enemies you will probably face in the whole game. And they also bring some shamans into the mix. Now, shamans are basically, you know, buffers, if you want to call them that in RPG terms, that hang in the back of any enemy encounter. And they start chanting. And what the chanting will do to the other enemies, they will make them stronger, so they deal more damage. They actually take less damage, and all of their attacks actually become unblockable. So you definitely want to prioritize shamans whenever you see them.
What happened here?
Because otherwise, you know, it will just take you a long while to cut through the normal enemies.
Where are you taking me?
Now this is another point in the run where the game will slow down your movements, however your jumping speed is not slowed down, so instead of taking the horse and trotting along with Tenzo, we'll actually just jump for a short distance until we get to this rock right here. Then we will call for our horse and get up again. And that just saves a little bit of time here.
The Sakai invasion.
The butcher of Iki and his gang thought they could bring a little law and order.
Also, you will see me use the horse charge now and again, because, as I said before, it's slightly faster. I think we've timed it to be
Was innocent.
about, what was it?
I've never seen a pretty war.
I think
There's a hidden entrance.
0.2 seconds or so for every point of resolve, roundabout, that you use for the charge. So it is very minuscule, but, you know, it can add up. So you just want to make the most out of it. Now what I do here is I set my blade on fire and then start fighting these guys. Because as I explained earlier, you know, not only have I a chance to terrify enemies when I kill them, I also have a chance to terrify enemies when they are set on fire. So I basically get, you know, a 2-for-1 there. I have a chance to terrify an enemy whenever I attack the enemy with my flaming sword, and then when I kill them, I have another chance to terrify even more dudes. I was a little bit unlucky in that one of the guys actually did not get terrified normally, or not exactly normally, but sometimes it is enough to just kill that archer and that shaman and everybody else starts running away immediately. But that is just, you know, where the experience of the runner comes into play, because sometimes not all the enemies will have run away. You have to do some cleanup during the encounters.
Hear my own thoughts,
And yeah, that is just something that you have to learn to deal with, so to speak.
but in her voice.
In order to continue here, we actually have to wait for Tenzo to make his way down this path. As long as they are still talking, it is not a time loss, because you have to wait for them to finish the conversation anyway. But Tenzo definitely can get stuck on the path down here a little bit, or just bump into edges and stuff. But generally, it should be fine. Just keep in mind that you actually absolutely have to wait for him to get here. And if you get too far away from him, he will actually stop following you straight out. So you also have to stay kind of close to him in the meantime.
You're welcome to join me.
Now during this fall here, this rock that I just fell down will always break. However, do keep in mind that if you fall down, you actually have to keep your direction or your left stick neutral. Because if you don't and you move to the side, you'll probably hit one of the rocks to the side, and Jin won't be able to catch the wooden beam beneath him and fall to his death. So, you know, just to be safe, wait a little bit before you start moving to the sides, so Jin can actually still catch the beam and, you know, save himself from falling to his death there. That is something that I have learned the hard way multiple times over, because, you know, we're speedrunners. We want to go fast. I don't want to leave the left stick alone for like any minute in the game more than I can. But, yeah, if you do touch it, well, you'll probably fall to your death, so maybe you shouldn't do that, actually.
When we step through that gate.
Alright, and with that, we have come to the Raiders Refuge. This is basically our main hub for the Iki Island expansion. You know, it's a little town filled with the Raiders that will start helping us. And why am I not properly skipping all those cutscenes today? So we'll have a little, you know, walk around with Tenzo here. He will show us what's what, while all these Raiders suspiciously eye us, because samurais are not exactly welcome on Iki Island because of what Jin's father did a couple years back. So, you know, these people are really reluctant to actually try and help us.
Not as lucky as you.
Tenzo, you're running out of clean rags.
We actually have to wait around here and wait for Tenzo and this woman to finish the conversation, because we have to have Tenzo come over to this house so that Fune over there actually spawns.
Tenzo, get
And
your
then we'll
ass
just
up.
quickly grab some stuff around here and make our way to the top. And that is actually the third main quest out of 9 of the Iki Island expansion already done. Now we are at the far west of the Iki Island expansion. Now we go to the far right. And once I start this next quest, you can cut off the donation incentive about the series of funny samurai.
That's my noble.
So basically, once I join these people down here, because it will come up in about a minute or so. So, you know, guys, if you do want to put more money towards that, now is basically the last chance. Donate!
Where is
Quickly!
Tenzo?
At the cliffs, talking to a friend. More Mongol lies.
Once it's out to 10, so you can basically cut off the donation incentive.
No problem.
Alright,
Want to keep me waiting, Jin?
let's hear it.
Next time, don't be so quick to...
It's time.
What's it gonna be?
Is the eagle's poison still in you?
So that incentive has unfortunately not been
Ah. Alright, so we will just let Jin decide on his own then, if he wants to be funny or not.
All right, I'll bite. What's the worst thing that happened to Jin from Yarikawa?
Because this is something, you know, we get a maybe funny line here, maybe not.
Losing my father.
Ah, we get the serious samurai.
We were in battle together.
You know, all the dread
Don't be.
reaching up.
You didn't know.
But yeah, let's just, you know, keep the fun going, kill some more people. So this is another instance where we're just going ahead, you know, use our blade, and then we want to try and get to the shaman over here. And kill that guy first. Because otherwise, as I explained, they would buff the other dudes. Then we'll just throw a black powder bomb over there. That should... No, that is not what I wanted to do, Jin. That should get rid of most of these guys over here. Sadly, we didn't get a lot of terror fires over here, but it is okay. Alright, now comes a special part of this run, because, you know, I've been using the ghost armor so far to terrify these enemies. However, for some reason, the enemies in the next encounter that we're gonna do are immune to terrifying. And as you can probably guess, we have to find a way around that, because the ghost armor is basically perked out to you know, to get the most out of the terrify effect. But since the terrification doesn't work, well, that's not good. You know, that doesn't help us in any way. So, what we're gonna do is, as soon as I get to this build, I will actually change my armor, and you may or may not recognize this one.
They haunt you. May your death benefit all beings.
Be quiet.
So we will change to the Sakai armor. And yeah, some of you might be familiar with the choice of color here. Because what they actually did is, because Sucker Punch is a Sony-owned company, they can get away with stuff like that. And they incorporated, you know, different armor sets, or color schemes rather, from other Sony IPs. In this case, obviously, it's God of War. So we are the Ghost of Sparta for a little moment here. You know, it's quite apt, as we are just absolutely murdering all these people around here. And since the Sakai armor is really good at dealing damage, we loaded that up with more charms that increase the damage even more. And that makes it so that we can basically kill everybody around here in one hit, give or take.
Were you too weak to save him?
Now, all the armor sets, or armor dyes rather, that you can get include a Bloodborne themed outfit. And you've actually seen it on the Ghost armor, because that is the one based upon what's it called again? Shut up, the Colossus, right? My God, how could I not remember that? Now you actually have to do some side quests, I want to say, to get all these armor dice on Iki Island, but it's so worth it. I mean, come on, who doesn't want to be the God of War in Japan? Also, God of War and Japanese mythology crossover soon, maybe? Eventually? Sony? Make it happen. So yeah, that was the first part of this quest, or rather the second. The first one was when we still had the ghost armor on. Now we actually go on this boat and have a little boat-on-boat fight here. And this is one of the parts in the run that can go horribly wrong, because there are a lot of enemies around here. Again, we cannot terrify any of them. So yeah, let's see how many tries this will take, because during practice I died a bunch here, and it was not fun to watch. takes care of these guys. Now gotta think of something to do with these dudes. It's really these eagle warriors, you know, the purple ones that can totally mess with you around here. So far it seems to be going pretty well. Fingers crossed. Okay. Should be in the clear here. Alright. Now we're done with all of these. We'll come down here, drop a smoke bomb because we don't have to deal with these guys. Drop another smoke so that guy doesn't interrupt us, but we just go ahead and ignite the explosives. And then we'll just make our way out of here because we just blown this shit up. I said ship. Definitely said ship. Alright. Alright. Fourth quest done. So we are actually approaching the halfway point in the run here. But basically only one death kinda so far, which is pretty good. Because this boat fight, like I said, can definitely screw you over because there are so many enemies here. And another part of this run is that we're actually not getting any good options to go ahead and replenish our ammunition because there are no vendors close by. So basically all the ammunition that we have, well, that is all that we get. And you definitely have to plan your route around that.
Well done, Jin.
But now that we have proven through all these raiders that, hey, we are a pretty good guy, you know, we can take on all these Mongols and whatnot, it is time to go ahead and retake Fort Sakai, you know, basically our family heritage here on Iki Island, because it is the main stronghold of the bad guys. So, of course, you know, we want to go ahead and, well, take that away from them. That is not where I wanted to go, horse, but okay. I actually want to go up here. I think the horse was just really set on running these Mongols over. It is starting to become quite bloodthirsty. But yeah, that's also the thing with the horse charge is once you start the charge, it is really hard to control the horse, especially left and right movement, because, you know, it's just running at such a fast speed. It's like, you know, a speeding car, you're going to say, or, well, an actual horse, probably, where the faster it goes, the harder it gets to steer. And another thing is, as long as I'm out of combat, I will actually passively regenerate 2 points of resolve, which is pretty nice because I can just use the horse charge whenever, basically, to always get a little bit more speed out of it. However, in this case, I want to save up my resolve until we have gone to the peak of the mountains here, as we'll have another fight coming up, and I want to try and charge the first 2 enemies that I come across. Just like that. Alright. Let's get rid of you. And you. And you too. And that should be all. Alright. That was very good. This fight can be really trolly sometimes, simply because while it is set which enemies you're gonna face, there will always be 2 Shamans, a Brute, and 2 to 3 Archers. It is random where they spawn. So you could have both the Shamans at the gate here, or you could have a Brute and an Archer at the gate here, and, you know, the other people are somewhere around you. And you just have to react to that as quickly as possible, because you still want to take care of the 2 Shamans first and foremost, before you go for the other guys. Now you want to just set that guy on fire so the other guys leave us alone for a little bit. You know, they're not exactly terrified, but they will definitely take their distance from you. So we can run up to these Shamans and kill them, because those 2 will actually always be in the back here. And then we will free all of our friends, which are caught in these cages. Do a little bit of cleanup here. Hopefully you guys can take care of the rest while I actually continue on upwards. Take care of these archers. You actually do not want to assassinate anybody around here, because if you assassinate an enemy while your sword is on fire, Jin will actually sheath his sword for a little bit, and that makes it so that, well, the flames are gone. So you have to set it on fire anew, which is pretty bad because I don't have a lot of these fire buffs. And the fact that I've actually lost 2 here is very much not good. Not good at all. Yeah, this could lead to a bit of a problem actually, but I guess we cross that bridge when we get there. Don't need it for now. Now actually go ahead and grab the Kensei armor, and this is actually the Bloodborne outfit, or the Bloodborne dye for the Kensei armor. I mean, it's really hard to make out because it's just black on black, but we use that to make this jump over here, which will refill all of my resolve, because I have set that armor up in such a way that I will actually regain resolve when I fall down and roll from a particular height. Because I will need all the resolve I can get for what's coming up. But first of all, we have a bit of a fight to get through here. So there are some shamans in the back there. I will just go ahead and try to poison these, so I don't actually have to fight them. Or at least one of them, I suppose. Again, dude didn't get terrified, so we have to take care of him normally. Now I'm just throwing these bombs at these guys just so I can immediately start attacking them, because they get a little bit staggered whenever they get hit by a bomb, and they have no way to defend against that. As you saw, I don't actually have to have the bomb blast actually go off, because they will die before that anyway. Now we gotta wait for these guys to open the door, and in that meantime we will actually switch over to the Ronin Entire, and then I have a full resolve bar, which is perfect, because we actually have a boss fight coming up. We are gonna fight Kunbish, who is the Eagle's right-hand man. And it's basically one of two mandatory boss fights in the Iki Island expansion. And he's a pretty strange one, because he has multiple fighting styles. Like, he can use two swords, he can use a sword and a shield, he can use the spear you can see on his back. And he will switch between them during the fight. However, every time you deplete his stagger bar, he will lose one of his weapons. And depending on which one he was using, obviously, which makes this fight pretty dynamic, because you never know which fighting style you're gonna face at any point. But hopefully we will get through this, no problem. That was a very clean fight, I'm really happy with that. And now we actually have to chase him. So the game expects you to go to the left and follow him. However, we will just take a shortcut through the right here. Now we are actually in front of him. So instead of us following him, he is following us. And he is supposed to drop these bombs on you. I have no idea where they're coming from, because he is still behind us, mind. But now he's in front of us again. So I guess teleportation skills? Pretty neat, dude. Should have used them for better, I guess.
Good thinking.
But yeah, we are actually pretty fast approaching the end of the line here. Now that we have retaken Fort Sakai, we will make our way back to the Raiders' Refuge and have another talk to Fune. And oh, why did I even get on top of us? Good question. The Eagle actually was not at Sakai Fort. She just wasn't there. I mean, we reclaimed it, but we have no idea where she is at the moment, which isn't good. So we need to find a way to basically lure her out. You know, we need to find her and weaken her forces. And that is why we will try and set up a fight at Kitafuni village. And this quest is now aptly named the Massacre at Kitafuni village, which could already tell you a little bit what's gonna happen here. It's basically the biggest fight of this part of the story, and there is gonna be a lot that's going down, so let's see if you can actually manage to comment on all of it. But let's quickly go over the Ronin attire that I'm actually wearing at the moment, that I used for the duel against Kunbish. Because what we do with the Ronin attire is we have a lot of charms equipped that have a chance to double the damage you deal. Now with the charm loadout that we do, we have I think a 45 to 50% chance to deal double damage with any of our hits, which is a good amount, but keep in mind it's a chance. And that is why the duel against Kunbish can swing wildly between your tries, because, you know, sometimes you get all of the double damage, sometimes you get none of it. And that can definitely make the fight against Kunbish quite dynamic, but we went through that pretty good, I want to say. Also, I just noticed, you know, since this run is coming right after the Sekiro run, not only are we keeping the feudal Japan theme going on in this marathon right here, but I think you can liken the Dance of Wrath that we did, you know, these 3 quick strikes against Kunbish, as kind of the mortal draw ability of this game, so to speak. So, there's some parallels here. I think I like that. Sekiro is a great game. Congratulations to Lacat on going under Aeshmah there, even though he sadly had that one death against the last boss. That was really harrowing to watch, actually.
They don't know the horror.
Alright, another flashback. Jin has been here before, but he was on the other side then. And we have a lot of Mongols to get through. So let's get on to it. Now I am specifically not using the horse charge here right now because I want to save up a little bit on my resolve. Also, since we had to take a lot of sharp corners there, the horse charge wouldn't have been that great anyway. Because as explained earlier, it's really hard to control the horse while you're doing the charge. And I guess I can get away with a little bit more here. Alright, we'll do just that, Jin. That was not angled very good, I want to say, but we still got quite a few of them. I mean, obviously, you do want to try and actually go for these big guys here. They are your main targets, as they have the most health, and the horse charge actually has a chance to instantly kill brute enemies whenever they hit one. And all of these guys are not capable of killing one Mongol. It is always a joy to see when that happens. Just 20 guys circling that one dude that seems to be totally impenetrable. Spoilers, he's not. But yeah, more Shamans. As we explained earlier, we definitely have to take these out first and foremost. Jin, please. What are you doing? Kill him. Grab some more kunai here. And these guys are just all over the place. Holy crap. Also, my allies are not doing a good job at all of killing these other dudes. I just noticed. Like, they are just circling them, getting killed. Oh my god, this is so painful to watch, actually. Now, this is probably one of the quests that can swing the most, and not exactly in your favor, simply because you are totally at the mercy of the NPC RNG here. Because you do gotta remember, we are playing on lethal difficulty. And what lethal difficulty actually does is, if you can think about it, that every strike does critical damage, you know, if you're playing an RPG. So not only do the enemies deal a hell of a lot of damage to you, but you are also dealing a hell of a lot of damage to them. And that also goes for the NPCs. So that means that the NPCs can actually be quite helpful to you if they actually, you know, manage to hit enemies. But as you can see here, they can totally whiff a lot of their attacks, and then they are not helpful at all, and you absolutely have no control over that. So yeah, always gotta pray for a little bit of NPC RNG, so to speak, and hope that these guys do some work. Or you could be here for a while. Come on, dude, just die. Okay. Yeah, that was pretty slow. Not gonna lie. Didn't like how this particular encounter played out. But you know, sometimes it just is what it is. Also, another thing to keep in mind is you can use your kunai and the sticky bombs, as you saw me do, to initiate combat, so the enemies don't immediately block my first attack against them. The problem with both of these methods is that if you hit them with a kunai or a sticky bomb, you know, they get staggered for a little bit. And while they are staggered, they cannot get terrified. So if I were, say, attacking an enemy and or if I were staggering an enemy with a kunai and killing another in the meantime, that staggered enemy would not be able to get terrified, so I will have to go back and kill that guy. So that is why you have to be a little bit careful about who you're gonna stagger and who not. So really only go for high priority targets and like that. Okay, we have a little bit of a quote-unquote stealth section coming up. You do not have to do this stealthy at all. It's just there's no outright combat here. So you want to throw that bomb, wait a bit, throw another, wait another bit, and then throw the third one. And the way we do it like that is, once we kill these enemies, or once we start this encounter rather, there will be some reinforcements coming in. And in order for enemies to actually get terrified, they have to be part of the engagement. So if you assassinate an enemy and the other enemies have not spotted you yet, they would not get terrified by that because they are not part of the encounter. The same here. If I were just to throw my black powder bombs at these enemies willy-nilly, the other enemies would not, on the other side, would not be part of the encounter yet, so they wouldn't actually get terrified. But by spacing out my bomb throws, all the enemies will actually be part of the encounter because they will have aggro on me, if you want to call it that. And that is why it's actually more beneficial to wait for them to, realize that, oh, somebody threw a bomb at my buddies, I'm gonna go and search for that dude and try and fight him. Then they are part of the encounter, and then you can just continue on throwing these bombs at them, so you actually get the terrify effect. Anyway, I probably over-explained that totally, so let's just go ahead and kill some more guys. Now that is what you want to see, basically killing one guy and about 4 more just straight up run. Again, go for the shaman first before anything else. These guys are gone, so it's only these 2 eagle warriors that are still in the fight. Kill one, the other guy is dead. And now we'll go for the last 3 enemies here. They are over the bridge on the other side. Well, we can just go ahead with a bomb throw, soften them up a little bit, maybe even kill some of them outright. Not quite. Okay, they are gone. And now there are still more enemies coming in, but we only have to kill one of them. And all the others will just instantly get terrified. Now that is basically a story element, you've broken their assault. And that is the second to last quest done. So we are actually up to the last quest already. And with that, at the end of the run, obviously. But yeah, this is being played on lethal difficulty, which is the hardest difficulty in the game. There are basically 4 difficulty settings that you can play the game on: easy, normal, hard, and lethal. They actually only patched in lethal difficulty, I think, a month or so after the game released. I don't think it was a month, but at least it was a week or 2. But it is the difficulty that I think most of the speedruns are actually being done on, because it's just the most fun to do, The constant threat of death hanging over you. But yeah, if you have any more donations to read or blurbs to spout, I guess now would be the time, because we have a little bit of time here.
No worries, thank you very much. I just want to let everyone know that we have opened our final 2 incentives for the marathon. A category upgrade for the Sonic 1 Forever speedrun that's happening later on by me, as it happens. An upgrade from Solo Sonic to Sonic and Tails. I can promise you it's worth the money, because Tails is a pain in the backside and makes it so much harder. That one's set at €150, so do get your donations in if you want to see me suffer. And also for our final run of the marathon, Metal Gear Solid 3 European Extreme, to use the MGS3 Tuxedo. That one's set at €75. So again, another one you can put your money to. And just to let you know, our next run, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, that's coming up after the end of this one, the name choice for Aegis is still open. No bids on that currently. You can choose between Mithra and Pyra, so do get them in quick if you want to influence that one.
Team Mithra represent, I guess. I mean, come on, guys. Who even chooses Pyra? Honestly. Guys. No. Don't.
When we attack, I'll get her
Just no.
You said she's hunting you. What does she want with a poison?
Let's see how many people are just triggered for saying that.
One of her shamans. What? One of her followers at Fort
Anyway,
said she wants to recruit
what we'll do here is we still haven't found the eagle, so Jin and Tenzo, have a little bit of a ride around, because we are trying to set up an ambush for her and her forces in Senzo Gorge. Now, Senzo Gorge, like the name implies, is well, a gorge. It's very narrow. It's very easy to just climb up the sides and rain arrows down on whoever is in the actual gorge. So we want to try and lure her and her forces over there. But to do that, well, first of all, we got to find her, right? So let's just go over there and have a look. See if we can find her. Maybe we're on luck.
Let's get a better look. Look for the eagle's helmet. Shouldn't be hard to spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's just right over there, right?
It's her. The eagle is
How
here.
convenient.
I don't see her.
Right there. She sees us. Move in.
Okay, as always, we want to try and spot the shaman. He's over there. Okay. And, oh, what's going on? Where are the enemies?
No.
Oh, oh, this isn't good. Oh, this isn't good. Oh, 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 we are fighting. Actually, we are fighting the last boss already. What? What's going on? This is unexpected. Oh, it was all just illusion. Okay, okay, back to normal.
The eagle got away. Look for her.
But yeah, if you weren't able to tell, this is the point in the run where Jin decided to go a little bit crazy with hallucinations. I mean, so far they've all been fun and games, but you know, they are really starting to get to him. So we will have some, you know, alone time with the eagle now and again from now on. But luckily we got through this one pretty unscathed. So let's go ahead.
The eagle is there, where my father was killed.
We have to get back to Fune.
I underestimated the eagle.
You sure you didn't want to become her shaman? Offer us up to your new master?
I'm no traitor. When I was imprisoned, poisoned, I thought the eagle was someone else. I told her about my father, how you ambushed us at Senjo Gorge.
So she knew your father died. Then she learned you joined our fight. Heard we were planning something big.
She's one step ahead. We can still win this, Tenzo.
So yeah, Jin and Tenzo just had a good little conversation about why things went wrong there, and as you can already tell by the red glow, well, stuff is going down over there. So these are basically the last few fights in the game, or you know, in the expansion. And as to be expected, they are some pretty big ones. So let's see if we can get through these. We're actually missing one here. Now you have to kill all the enemies here to progress once more. Always be on the lookout for the shaman first. Gotta get that out of the way. I did not want to kill that guy, I actually wanted to attack the other dude. Thank you, Jin. And I think that was all. Yeah, okay, good. So we are now reunited with our friends, and we will go ahead and hunt down the last few Mongols who are now in the gorge, while we are being plagued by all these hallucinations. Fun stuff. I actually got killed there. Nice. I mean, yeah, that can happen. It is lethal difficulty after all, and as I explained, being hit once basically means you're dead. So, I guess we just redo this little bit of the game. I mean, it was a somewhat convenient place to die, I want to say, because it wasn't so far away from a checkpoint. It just looked really dumb, just like that. Okay, didn't die the whole run, now I'm dying twice back to back at the end. Well, okay. Guess we'll just go ahead and do that a little bit different than there. Because normally it doesn't go that badly. Because you can just, you know, light your sword on fire, attack the first few enemies, and then the other guys just go away for a bit. Okay, this is getting silly now. What is going on? Because the problem is, since Jin is having a hallucination, you actually use all of your resolve during that time. So you can't do anything here, so I guess we'll just have to do it a little bit differently then. I didn't want to do it like that, but I guess the game just doesn't leave me a choice in the matter. Because I also cannot run, because of the hallucination again. So that was excruciatingly slow. Because what you're supposed to do here normally is you can just light your blade on fire, hit the first few enemies, and the rest will just, you know, behave normally, at least for a while, so you can just hack your way through them. But for some reason the NPCs blocked me, I wasn't able to get to the enemies, and stuff just went south there. Anyway, Continuing on again, look for the shaman. He's over there, but the eagle is also here. But what we'll do here is, and that is why I haven't used the sticky bombs in a while, you can just throw sticky bombs at her, because you have to wait for this conversation to finish, otherwise you are not able to move on. So, I know, whenever she's coming for you, just throw a bomb at her, and you are fine for a couple more seconds here. Because otherwise she will walk around and try and hit you, and she can actually kill you, and I probably don't have to tell you that would be a problem. But once the hallucination is over, you can just resume the fight. Oh, that was an enemy. Oops. I thought that was one of our own. That was a little bit... That guy totally caught me off guard. I really thought he was an ally. Oopsies. Anyway, we have one last fight to get through. So again, we're gonna play Spot the Shaman. I can't see him at all, which means he is around the corner. And there's the eagle. Just throw another bomb at her.
I will give you peace.
Again, we gotta wait for them to finish the conversation. Probably takes another sticky bomb to get through here. Usually it takes two. Then just throw it at him.
Let me take away your pain.
I'll send you to hell.
And there's the shaman. Okay, so I was right. And now we just have to deal with the last few enemies around here. And then we are off to the final boss. Okay. So all that is standing between us is the last boss and a couple more cutscenes. So let's get on with it.
Let me heal.
Damn it, give me silence.
Jin, you need to turn back.
Now.
Gotta wait for that here. Go back to the Ronin attire because we have another duel coming up. And we are off to the last boss fight. Now this boss fight has two stages. I will use Dance of Wrath once, and then we will be interrupted by another hallucination, where I have to hit her once, without using any resolve or special attacks or stuff like that. Just a normal hit. And of course she starts throwing stuff at me, which is bad, because that means she's not actually attacking me, but I got the hit. Okay, that is the first phase of the fight done. Now we will have another cutscene in the middle. But the great thing about this is, not only, I mean, you can skip the cutscene, but when we resume the fight, we will have full resolve again, which means I can't just use the Dance of Wrath over and over, and she cannot defend against that, so basically I have won at this point. Because I only need about 2 Dances of Wrath, I could use 3, so this is a pretty safe fight, everything considered. Unless she dodges all my attacks somehow, and that is the duel against the Eagledom. So we will just have, you know, a couple more cutscenes that we're gonna skip, then we will do a haiku. And as soon as you see the title card, the Blessing of Death on screen, that will be time. So again, we will just select, we will do some speed haiku here. So go ahead and enjoy that.
Hiding in darkness. My father's hand reaching up. Free at last from life.
Again, I will skip the next cutscene, and as soon as the title card is displayed on screen, that will be time. And time. That's it. That was the run. The Iki Island New Game Plus category of Ghost of Tsushima, played on lethal difficulty. Just making sure that was actually the case, right? I did do that on lethal. I did do it on lethal. Yes. All right. So, I guess that's it from me, guys. Thank you so much for having me. This is always a great marathon. I always love being here at BSG. Thank you so much to the Ghost of Tsushima community, especially Charlton11235 for coming up with most of the routing and strategies for this category. He was the first to actually run it and plan it out, so he did a phenomenal job on that. And yeah, good luck to all the runners in the marathon still. I do hope we will reach our goal of 1,400 euros, if I write correctly. And that's all from me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that amazing run, Aeshmah. A really fantastic run there of Ghost of Tsushima. Just let everyone know, coming up next, we're going to have Xenoblade Chronicles 2 with Quadriceps. But just before that, we're actually going to be interviewing Quadriceps about that run. Your everyday speedrunner will be here to interview for that one. That's also the last from me in terms of hosting this morning. I am going to be back later on tonight for more hosting, so I will see you then. But for now, stick around. We're going to get ready for our interview. Don't go anywhere.
Just gonna keep waving. Tell them off screen, like always. Cut!